Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Sunday, July 23rd. Sorry, guys, it's been hectic. I've been traveling through California, and I'm currently in Santa Barbara. I just spent the last 2 days in Los Angeles. I did speak at an event down in Los Angeles. I asked them if I can live stream it on my YouTube, and unfortunately, the conference rules said no. However, there was a daring person in the audience sitting in the front row that streamed it over to Periscope. So I know a lot of people watched it live. I'm not sure if the entire 1 hour and change of the panel was streamed. I'm already in touch with the conference. I'm trying to get that video as soon as possible in order to put it on my YouTube while it's relevant. That panel was really good. It was me, Eric Lombroso, Ryan X. Charles, and Paul Pui of Airbits. And Ryan X. Charles is definitely a big blocker. Me and Eric are definitely with the user-activated soft fork side of the equation. And Paul is somewhat in the middle, but I guess he leans towards slightly bigger blocks. And I understand it from Paul's perspective in that, he's running a wallet and more transactions and more people. It's really good for them. Hey, guys, I hope everything is good with my audio and video this time. And there won't be any problems. I start off with screen share. All right. I don't have much time because I actually want to go to the beach. It's still only 3:40 here, and I finally made it to a beach location. I will be updating my blog next week. I'm also in San Francisco as of Tuesday, so I'll be here in Santa Barbara a couple of days, and I'm off to San Francisco. I'll probably speak at the meetup in San Francisco, and then there is some kind of an event on Thursday that I will attend. I don't believe I'm speaking there unless there's a no-show or something. All right. Let's just jump right onto the markets. I have 200 live viewers already, so that's good. Apologize to the European viewers for doing this kind of late. And again, I'm still working out my new computer with resolutions and stuff. I'm going to have to optimize that sooner or later. All right, so the S&P 500 is actually fairly interesting. Those of you that watched my last video, I've been saying that we're going to have consolidation, and then the market is going to jump out to the upside right there. And that happened. But the important part was the numerical indicator, right? And I was really hoping to get a 913.9, okay? And those of you that are new to my channel, this is a very advanced trading indicator, and I'm focusing on it a lot more these days because it's just been amazingly accurate across so many markets. And I knew about it for years. I just never really followed it as much. But anyway, there was a 9 right here on June 5th. And this 9 told you one of several things, that either you're going to get the most likely scenario was a 1 to 4 candle pullback and then higher prices. The least likely scenario in this particular case was a complete reversal in trend, which happens. And the other scenario is you don't get a single pullback and you immediately keep going up and up and up. So as you can see, we did have a couple of candles of pullbacks up to 4. So that was a 9. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles of a slowdown in trend, and then it kind of stuck around and then eventually went up. So after this 9, if the market continues to go up, you are watching the 13 count on the bottom. When the 13 count ends, it's time to take your profit and sell the position. And if you get a 9, it's also time to sell your profit, sell your position and take the profit. Okay, so the strongest sell signal that we have is a 9 followed by a 13 and a 9, either on the same day or the 13 coming just before the 9. So I was hoping that this 7 would bring about an 11 on the same day, and this 8 would bring about a 12, setting up a 9-13 sell on Monday for the S&P 500. Now, we did get the 8, but we didn't get the 12. So that means there are 2 additional days, according to the countdown, for the market to go up, and 1 additional day as a sell day on Monday. So if this 8 closed all the way up here, like I said in my last video, I would have recommended, if you are long the S&P 500, I would have recommended taking your profits and then seeing what happens next week. Because you didn't get a 12, you get one extra day of wiggle room. So now I want to see what happens on Monday. Now I'm waiting for a reversal candle. This 7 is a reversal candle, but it might have come a couple of days too early. So if I did have a position long in the S&P 500, I would wait until Monday and see what happens. Either way, on Monday is an indication to take your profits from the bullish trade. And let's see how Monday goes. If it's a really strong day without a reversal candle closing above the 7, you can definitely wait at least one more day before a potential reversal. If the 9 is a weak day, then you treat the 7 as a reversal candle. You sell on a 9, and then hopefully a 13 would come early next week, and then everything here points to a sell. Now, there's not going to be a crash. If the S&P falls, and I'm probably putting this arrow in prematurely, but there will be a 9, and there will probably be, again, like a little pullback, maybe to here. And after that, I would pretty much be looking for higher prices once again. Now, I am putting these arrows in a little prematurely. Normally, I shouldn't do that. I really want to wait for that 9 and see what happens on Monday. All right, but let's save that and I see what happens. All right, that's the daily. Here's the weekly. Nothing's really changing on the weekly. I'll throw the numerical indicator on there, but on the weekly charts, there's really nothing there. It's up and up and up and up, and I remain bullish. The S&P 500. I'm also limited on time, so I'm going to try and go through these a little bit quicker. Let's just throw my favorite indicator on there, and again, see there was a 9 sell there. Ignore this 13. It shouldn't be there. It's a bug in the code. I need to. They're difficult to fix. This 9. See what I mean? It was more of a reversal candle, and the 9 was already a weak candle. So this 9 was a very strong indication to just sell and wait. This 9, on the other hand, was an indication to take a profit because this was a very strong day, possibly all-time high close. And then you had a little bit of a pullback, 2 candles, and then we went up. And once we started going up, you are watching the bottom numbers for 13, and boom, there it is. See, this is a 9, 13, 9, which is normally a very strong indication of a sell. And if you did sell, you didn't lose any money, right? It was like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 red weeks. And then the moment you have this green 1, you're like, oh, okay, trade didn't work. I'm going to take my little loss. And then this is kicking off a brand new 13 count to the upside on the bottom, and a brand new 9 count to the top. So if I was trading on a longer term S&P 500 weekly scale, like a retirement fund, I would totally be long right here. As of this week, the moment the price this week was higher than 2,463, which is the high of last week, you go long and you stay long, possibly for an additional 7 more weeks of upside. And if you're waiting for a 13 count, so you have a 13 here, right here, the week of 529, that 13 came from this 9. If this 13 count repeats from this 9, and there's another 13 count from this 9 that's currently happening, again, little bug in the code that I need. So there's actually multiple 13s going on. So the weekly S&P 500 is very bullish. All right. All right, enough time on the S&P. Gold. Again, gold's been stronger than I expected. This is the daily gold. I mean, this rebound made total sense, and I'm sure I called it in real time from several perspectives. I'm going to throw the numbers immediately on here. See, there was a 9 right here. So this 9, again, this is an indicator. And more and more people have been calling me to do my consulting specifically about this indicator. And the one thing I tell people is, this is an advanced trading tool, and I kind of expect you to have some experience trading. Otherwise, I feel uncomfortable explaining it to people. But I still do, and I provide the code for TradingView and stuff like that. So this is what the one of the things provided in the tone-based private consulting, 0.1 Bitcoins per hour, guys. I wish I can do them for free, but I only have so much time, and it's just me. So this 9 told you that you take your profits from the short trade. You can play the bounce for a short amount of time, and then we'll see what happens. It'll either start a 13 count to the downside or a reversal. So in this case, this was a total reversal. So around here, there was a chance to go long based on this indicator alone. I probably would not have done it, but it continues to be that way, and that's an 8. And tomorrow, on Monday, we're going to have a 9, unless this is already the candle. Oh, I'm sorry, this is already Monday's candle. So this is Monday, so you have till Tuesday. So you have today and tomorrow to get a 9, which is a sell indicator. And once you get a 9, it's probably a chance to go down. So I will, take this arrow, and I'm gonna again prematurely stick this candle here in anticipation of the 9 coming on Monday, looking for at least a short-term pullback, maybe more, maybe reversal. But it's enough information to trade on, and that's the important part. All right, that's the daily gold. The weekly gold is, again, you're back at the trend line. This is a monster trend line that's been going on for years, and I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to drop the indicators on the bottom. Doesn't really matter. So look, we're back at the trend line. So what does that say? I mean, I drew this arrow long ago. Probably drew this arrow a little too far. I probably should have only gone to here. It's my mistake. I get overzealous sometimes. That's where it should have gone. So I'm adjusting it. Still came up short of my target if I drawn it correctly. So we're going to do it again, right? We're going to stick a red arrow here. I'm going to go down and hopefully make a new low, maybe bounce a little bit here and there. And once we get to this tipping point, I mean, I remain very bullish, very bearish gold. I would love to see like a flash crash. Well, I wouldn't like it, but in order for me to be bullish gold, I want to see a lower low. It's going to be hard for me to be bullish gold on a long-term scale. I will only be bullish gold on a long-term scale above 1400, or if it flash crashes to like 800. So at around 700 to 800, I'll be very bullish gold, like very bullish gold. But until then, I'm still looking for this triangle to come to a point, and then I'm expecting it to go down. Some people are expecting it to go up, so we'll see. Okay. Before I close gold, I want to take a look at my indicator, not my indicator, but an indicator that I like. And so this is going to be a very important week. So on a weekly scale, this almost made it to a bearish 9. I mean, they don't always come. And then we got a bullish 9, and immediately we had a little bit of a pullback. And now we're doing a 13 count to the upside. So there is and we're doing a down count to a 6. Now you already see a 1 here, a green 1 flipping the color. If the color flips, it becomes a cash position. So if you shorted gold right here at 2, at this number 2 right here, you would be in cash if this week closes at a green 1. But the week is just starting. You have 5 days. So this will become a red 7, like an orange 7, yellow 7. I'm going to eventually get this code right. This will be like a red 7, a bearish 7, if this candle closes below this candle. So if on Friday night gold closes below 1241, this will be a red 7. But then the next week would need to be very bearish. Okay, so let's see what happens. But we are at resistance, and the most likely scenario is resistance will hold. You have to assume resistance will hold. You can't assume it's going to break out. And there was a false breakout right here. Huge bull trap. Huge. I would have got caught. If I had time to trade, I probably would have gone bullish gold right here, and I would have been caught. And since I'm overall bearish, on gold, that would have been frustrating, right? Okay, let's close gold. All right, oil, nothing really to see here. I'm not even zooming out. I'm going to remain zoomed in. I'm already going late on time. And we're staying in my bearish channel. The numerical indicator is totally useless here. It's just flipping back and forth. They're not really giving you much of a trade. Kind of went bullish here, but like oil is done. I have no future bullish prospects for oil. The euro continues to go up. So that means the US dollar is dropping, but that just means the euro is going up. The US dollar is doing fine. And I had these green arrows for a while. I would never take this trade, because one of these magic weeks, it'll, I said it last week, this will probably extend. It'll probably extend over, but this 200-week moving average is not something to mess with. And Euro's been on a huge run. Let me see if on a weekly chart, the numerical indicator is telling us anything. It's on a 6, okay? So we're looking at this week and then 3 more weeks of potential upside, but the 9 would need to be above this 5. And that should set up a nice sell signal for the euro. So I'll be looking for that. Maybe I'll actually take this trade. I mean, I think the euro is way over priced right now. So I would love to see, like, maybe in another next month or at the end of August, the euro should be a nice short. Okay, so I'll keep an eye on that. Let's close that. All right, Bitcoin, the one you've all been waiting for. And I'm not sure if anyone's helping me out with questions. And I will turn on my camera a little bit later after I'm done talking about Bitcoin. And then I'll take a look at the live chat. I'll grab some questions. But for now, let me zoom out. Oops, nope, I don't need 2 of these scripts. Let me zoom out. Zoom this weekly out. Sorry, still getting used to the new PC here. New laptop. All right. Whoa, what happened here? That wasn't there before. That's a data error. That wasn't there before. That's got to be a bug on Bitstamp. So ignore that. That wasn't there last time I did this chart. So again, just want to make sure you're not seeing a bubble. And because this is a logarithmic chart, like that's a bubble. This is not that bad. And this week has been amazing. This is what SegWit does. I mean, you get SegWit into the system, and boom, look at this, almost at all-time highs. I love it. It's just so frustrating. We got to continue to fight bad actors that are continuously doing everything in their power to just bring Bitcoin down, like price-wise, usability-wise. It's very frustrating. But hey, you know what? You got to deal with them. It's how you get stronger. Okay, so let me. Not really going to be much to see here. The 9 was a sell. I mentioned it in real time, like literally the day of. And take your profit, not really a sell. It's called a 9 sell, but I don't treat it as a sell, only in rare circumstances, okay? And then I was looking for a 1 to 4 week pullback, then higher, but on the 5th week, we just crashed. I mean, it's all SegWit 2x related, right? Like you don't get SegWit, and like people got scared of a hard fork, and boom, it crashed. So there was a tradable short. And but this week we get SegWit in, boom, it's going all the way up. Now this is going to close in about an hour. This will solidify a green one, and that means that we would have a cash position on a long-term cycle of Bitcoin. And the moment we start trading above last week's high, this would be a buy on the long-term scale. Okay, so that's the weekly. So we're still looking for a close above right there, 2,500 on stamp to keep this a green one, known as a price flip. That's what you want to see. You want to see a price flip. All right, the daily. So I didn't have time to tweet this out, guys. I'm sorry. I've been really, really busy. But if I Google bullish pennant, okay, this is how I'm seeing it. I'm going to Google the stock one, right? So looks something like this, right? You have consolidation, and then you have a pop, and then you have consolidation. And that usually brings out another pop because they don't have the follow-up. It looks more like this, okay? So you have this consolidation, then you have this flag, the pole, and then you have more consolidation, and then it's supposed to pop the same size as the pole, okay? So now if I go back to the chart, we had this consolidation. It was a little bit of a dip, but I will treat this as consolidation, okay? And then we have this huge pop, and now we're consolidating again, right? So this is that. I don't think there's a shape for that. But what we can do is we can just grab a shape. I don't really want to draw a triangle, but it's kind of triangle-ish. And I'm not going to keep it green. You know, it's a little bit tough to draw like that. right off the top of that candle, right? And there's lots of things going on here. First of all, we are above all resistance points. The only thing that's stopping us is the previous all-time high. And as you guys know, I don't believe in double tops. As far as I'm concerned, Bitcoin is guaranteed to break above 3,000. And if it does, what's the most likely scenario? How high would it go? Where is my expectation of profit? And this is the daily chart, by the way. So my expectation of profit is the size of this big candle right here. So this candle had a range from the low of 2250 to a high of 2920. So let's say 2900, right? So that's 2250 to 2900. That's, what are we looking at here? 650. So I'm just going to grab a price range. And from the edge of the pole, I'm going to draw 650 bucks right there. Yeah, it's even hard to draw. Right at 23%. Wow. Damn. How happy would we all be, huh? So I don't want it red. I want, is this what I'm looking at? What am I looking at here? I want this green. Perfect. Okay. So I'm looking at a 650. Is that really how much we went up in one day? From 2253 to 29. Yeah, wow. So that would be 650 bucks, right? So here's the best part, right? So we have a 3, 4, 5, 6. So tomorrow will be a 7, and tomorrow starts in a couple of days, in an hour. Tomorrow starts in a couple of days. That's funny. It shows you how tired I am. Tomorrow starts in an hour, and that'll be a 7. Then we'll have an 8, and then we'll have a 9. So I would love to see this pop on a 9. So the pop on 726. So this is 723, 724 would be a 7. 725 would be an 8, and then 726 would be a 9. So I'm specifically putting this line, this pop of 650 bucks, on 728. Okay, only because I want to see a 9. I want this 9 to be a sell signal. This can happen on an 8. This can happen the day after the 9. But I really want to see a 9. And this consolidation, I think, is good. I'm very bullish. I'm going to try and tweet this out maybe right after the next candle. I'll definitely tweet this out tomorrow. Okay, but I'm bullish here. As crazy as this sounds, I'm expecting a $650 pop in Bitcoin. And the most likely, right now, the most likely day for that to happen is the 28th. Okay, so let's see what happens. Do I want to mention Litecoin, or do I want to? Litecoin is probably ugly because of Bitcoin. So I was treating Litecoin as a hedge against Bitcoin, but once Bitcoin got SegWit and the way it got it, like I can totally understand why. I'm gonna go back to Bitcoin in a second, guys, for my closing thoughts. But I want to mention Litecoin. I do accept Litecoin donations. Oh, and thank you for your donations, by the way. I got a couple of donations coming in. Also, thank you to the private clients that take me up on my consulting offer. We are at 477 viewers. Somehow I managed to break 1,000 viewers on my last video with Jimmy Song talking about the whole scaling drama. And I'm going to have to do another episode of that because of the whole ViaBTC thing that I'm going to mention in a second. But anyway, let's jump on the script here. Now, the script is still positive. You see how this is the weekly Litecoin chart. You had a 9 sell, like perfect timing, like amazing. Like, I don't know how these things manage to happen so often. This almost made it to a 9 buy, but it was a 13 buy. So there was a reason to go long right here on the 13. 13s are buy signals when they're red. 9s are buy signals when they're red. This 13 came from this 9. This green 13 is a bug. Ignore that. And this 9 signal was a sell. I mean, amazing. And now I would love to see another 9, but it's going to be hard because this is a 6. So as of in an hour, there will be a new candle. So now we're talking a new candle, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next candle, we need to close above the 3, stay green. So if Litecoin can maybe make it to a 9, that would also be a sell. Now, I'm still kind of optimistic about Litecoin, only because this is another double top, and I hate double tops. So I'm expecting it, Litecoin against Bitcoin, to go higher. Okay, but for now, this is a scary day, but the color hasn't flipped yet. So if you're only trading this indicator, you are on a losing position because you would have entered on the 2, and now you're probably at a slight loss against Bitcoin. But if you're going to trade mechanically, then you want to wait for that color flip. But those are weekly candles. Here's the daily candles. I already have the indicator on there. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And on a bearish side, again, we're up to a 7. So wait 2 more candles, and then there'll be a red 9 indicating a bounce. As you can see, these green 9s were perfect, telling you that the bullish trend was ending. 9, 9, and then on the bottom, there would have been a 9. Was there a 9 somewhere here in the red? Oh, there was a 9 right here in the red, telling you that the downtrend may be ending. And boom, and it kind of did. And we haven't had any 9s since, okay? And so we're working on that. So this 9 has been doing a 13 count to the bottom. So that keeps you in the short trade, but 2 more days, and like these are the arrows. I drew these arrows before. So I don't know what's going to cause Litecoin to go up against Bitcoin at this stage, especially since 5 minutes ago I said I'm expecting a $650 pop in Bitcoin, but technicals sometimes get a little weird. And my daily chart on Litecoin against Bitcoin says that Litecoin should not have that much more room to the downside. But if Bitcoin pops $650, that would mean that Litecoin would have to pop like $40, right? So, and I don't see what can do that to Litecoin. I just don't. So Litecoin remains extremely neutral for me right now, but I'm very, very bullish Bitcoin. All right. No Monero today, guys. I'm running low on time. And let me just briefly talk about my thoughts on this ViaBTC. Complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. So I mentioned it this morning on Today in Bitcoin, so maybe check that out on the World Crypto Network. So ViaBTC showed up in order to block SegWit, big time. I have absolutely no evidence. I'm a speculator. That's my job. I'm a speculator that ViaBTC is financed by the combination of Bitmain and Bitcoin.com. I have no evidence of this. This is the tone-based speculation part of the show. I think that Bitmain threw in some money in order not to look like they're monopolizing the market, and Bitcoin.com started their own mining pool, and I think I think they're working together. And they started this ViaBTC pool as like an experimental pool. They can kind of say the stupidest, craziest things and get away with it. It's kind of like what politicians do. Like when, let's say, the Federal Reserve or some politician, they want to create some crazy law, or they want to print money, or they want to create some crazy financial law, whatever they want to do, right? So they float the idea. So like Janet Yellen would say, we are considering the possibility, we're not going to probably do it, but we are considering the possibility of eliminating, the $100 bill. And then they watch the market and they gauge the reaction. And they see how people react. If people react extremely negatively, they're going to say, oh, it was just an idea. We're obviously not going to do it. This would be crazy. But if the people seem to be OK with it and there isn't this backlash, then they're going to do it. So to me, ViaBTC comes out and says the craziest, stupidest things and watches the market reaction. And then they gauge it. Can they get away with it? Can they get away with half of the craziness? And then they'll do it for their own personal advantage. And then like Bitmain will do it, Bitcoin.com will do it, like everyone that's involved. And again, this is my speculation. I have no idea who ViaBTC is. But they come out with the craziest ideas. And they gauge the market. So to me, they started this futures market. You handing your Bitcoin to ViaBTC is insane. I don't trust the Chinese. I accused them of manipulating Bitcoin volume for years until it was proven true when the Chinese government came in and cleaned that up. Okay, so I never trusted them for years. So this ViaBTC thing, it's not going to work. You can handing ViaBTC your Bitcoin is no different than handing Mt. Gox your Bitcoin, or Alphabet your Bitcoin, because you're probably not going to see it again. I don't trust them. So if you want to wait till they actually do the hard fork, you're not going to get 10%. Like whatever it's worth. Like I don't even know. Like it's what is it? BCC. This is another clams. If you want to know what BCC is, this is another clams. Complete nonsense. Let me see. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Bitcoin Cash. But what it did was, it definitely scared the market a little bit, and I think that it's definitely helping create this flag pennant. And hopefully it'll break out to the upside when the ViaBTC coins start trading at like $3 to a Bitcoin, right? So if we look at this, I mean, there's absolutely no liquidity in this mess. This is nuts. No one's going to pay you for this. This is a hard fork and only going to be mined by the same entities: Bitcoin.com, ViaBTC, and Bitmain. Complete centralization of mining. Why the hell would anybody want this coin? It's totally worthless. Okay, people are getting scared over nothing. I know Jimmy's a little more worried than I am, but that's okay. I'm not worried at all. I hope they fork off and stay there. Okay, so let's see what happens. So this isn't worrying me, I think, but it'll be a nice setup. I'm going to give it 2 more days, and then we pop. Okay. Also, going back to my date of August 11th, it looks like the SegWit will become official on possibly August 10th, but it depends August 10th and what country. So I think my code spit out a specific time. But hey, if I come in within 24 hours of something that I said 3 years ago, I said there was a major event coming, 2017.62, which turned out to be August 11th. And all I did was update the article for August 11th. And here's the math. It was a time analysis. There's the day. Let's see if that's the official day of SegWit. That would be awesome. Okay, so those were all my thoughts. I'm going to turn on the camera. And because I want to take a look at your questions, I don't want to show the full Hangout chat. And so go ahead and start throwing in your questions. I hope I explained the whole ViaBTC thing. It's not making me nervous at all, but I'm loving this flag pennant right now. I'm at 550 live viewers, which is great. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for those that are seeking consulting. And I will get back to a few of you. I know people have been emailing me. I've been traveling. I'll try and make some time this week, and we can definitely set that up. Okay. All right. Let's stop sharing screen. And a
little warning of the black lady.
Say hi, one of my friends. I'm being hosted here in Santa Monica.
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. I always forget where I am. That's what happens when I travel too much. That is Sarah. All right, guys. My camera's on. Yeah. All right, camera's on. Screen share is off. And let's go. Go on with your questions. Oh, whoa, chat's like scrolling really fast because I haven't looked at it. Hey, please start your questions with the word question or with my name, because otherwise it's hard for me to find them in the chat. That is scrolling really, really fast these days. All right, let's see here. Is the big event in August making the price go up or go down? That's a good question. It's at the moment, it's not really doing anything, right? Because remember what I said in that article. I guess I'm going back to screen share. Yes, that didn't last long now, did it? Let me just go back to my article for a second on screen share. Okay. I kind of like I don't know what's going to happen on this date, because these dates, I can give you these dates for like the next 30 years. How the hell do I know what happens, right? So sometimes, and I give you references. Like, again, I'm taking this work from like Martin Armstrong. I'm like, it's like homeless man. Well, like me doing it compared to Martin Armstrong is like a homeless man trying to figure out, you know, it's like how it works. I mean, he's got like a supercomputer doing this stuff. I just did a 101 version. So sometimes the dates actually correspond to a high in the price of a market. And sometimes they're just very critical dates that lead to general trend changes. And sometimes they're just major events. So I gave multiple possibilities, saying that August 11th could lead to a price high. August 11th can lead to a price low. Or it has nothing to do with the price, and it has to do with a specific event. So most likely, it's looking like C. August 11th turned out to be a huge date. If SegWit gets activated on this date, then, I mean, the price was choppy, right? The price was nervous that it wasn't going to happen, and it crashed. Then the price completely rebounded because it was going to happen. And it would be awesome if the official activation of SegWit actually takes place on August 11th, though right now it's looking like August 10th. You know what? Considering I picked this date 3 years in advance, having been wrong by 1 day is pretty, like, amazing to me and kind of funny. So please read this article. Most likely, that day is not going to correspond to a price high or low, but it's still possible. I mean, look, I'm not a fortune teller. Like, I don't know. All I can do is read the charts and read them the best I can. Market is getting nervous, but give it a couple of more days. People will realize how dumb Bitcoin Cash is, and I'm expecting a market to pop. It doesn't have to do this, but that's what I'm expecting. And you also know when you're wrong. Like when the color flips, like if we close tomorrow, like way down here, the price will flip and it'll be bad. In fact, tomorrow we have to close higher than this 3 candle. So tomorrow needs to be a pretty good positive day. Otherwise, this count breaks. And that doesn't mean that it's going to go down, but it just means we may have to wait longer for a 9, which could be a good thing. That means there could be a bigger rally. But I still really like this pennant, and I'm still hoping for my $650 pop in Bitcoin. So if someone owes you Bitcoin, try to get it in the next couple of days, guys. That's just my advice. Like, harass them to pay you the money they owe you. Okay, let's go back to, let's just drop screen share again. Get back to your questions. Stop screen share. Camera back on. Okay. All right, live chat. All right, next question. Oh, wow. Oh, I just lost my place in the chat. Shoot. You know what? When the chat scrolls, okay, here we go. Finally got it back. The 13, I can't. This is I can't explain the 13 count. You have to watch a bunch of my videos, and you can kind of pick it up from my videos. But other than that, this is the kind of stuff I say for the private clients. I don't want to spend too much time because some people already understand it, and it's too complicated for others. So I don't like to get into like the educational video of the syndicator, and some of this stuff is reserved for my one-on-one consulting. But just keep listening, and you get the idea. And if you're very good at Googling, you probably figure it out. There's nothing here that there's nothing here that's all that proprietary. It's a code that I didn't create. I just helped put together the code for Pine editor on TradingView. But as far as the mathematical rules for the code, that's not my creation. That's publicly out there on Google. So check that out. Okay, so we have another question about a specific ICO or altcoin. And the answer to almost all your questions as to what I think about Project X or Token Y or ICO Z, you Google the name of that ICO next to my name on YouTube. So if you're asking me about ICO XYZ, please Google my name and that ICO name, and there is a chance you will find an entire hour worth of video of me talking about that token. I don't promote any tokens on this show, so I don't want to mention any ICO or token even as part of your question. Okay, let's move on. According to the rules of the indicator on the BTC daily, would there be a very high chance that a green 7 would break out? So again, damn, I gotta go back to screen share. So according to there's no, the indicator does not imply that the breakout would be on a 7. It's the other way around. If the next candle closes above this big candle number 3 on the daily close, it will be a 7. But it doesn't have to be, right? The indicator just says if it makes it to a 9, it's time to take your profit and potentially sell the security, the asset. But expecting a breakout, expecting the 7 is a false move. Well, you are expecting a 7, but you don't know how far it's going to be. Now, I would have entered the bullish trade based on this daily indicator right here at the price of 24.20. The moment this big 3 candle started trading up higher than the previous day, I would have entered. And I am expecting it to get to a 9 where I sell. But if tomorrow is a down day, I would get out of this trade and I would take my profit from the entry down here at 24.20. But there's no guarantee that the 7 will pop. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a 7. I mean, here we had a 1, 2, 3, 4. There was no guarantee you're going to get a 5. I mean, nobody knows. The market can do anything. So no, there's no expectation that the 7 would pop. I would love to see a pop on the 9. That would be ideal, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. Okay, back to stop it. Just doxed everybody. See, this is, I'm so terrible at this. All right, let's go back to the questions. Right, what are those numbers on the candlesticks? That is an indicator that I don't mention by name due to trademark laws, and I don't want to get sued. But in private sessions, I'll be more than happy to explain it. You also must be new here. Please go back and watch previous videos. You think BTC may consolidate quick after the 36.50 in 3 weeks? I honestly don't know. Look, you're already assuming that I'm right about a $650 pop in Bitcoin, and then you're asking me what's going to happen after that. Let's just get the pop first. You know, worry about what's going to happen after. Assuming I get that right. I mean, I've been pretty good at like getting the price of Bitcoin, but it makes me more and more bold. And one of these days, I'm going to be horribly wrong. So I'm not going to speculate on what's going to happen after the 3,650 because I don't know if I'm going to be right about 3,650. I'll talk about that if we hit it. Yes, Sarah is cute. Thank you for the comment.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know if you heard her say thank you. I think so. I think my mic's good. Oh, they only see your feet at the moment. Okay.
Well, thank you to the person who made the comment.
All right. See, I don't know if there are websites about the hard fork. I've just been traveling and speaking. I know almost nothing about BCC. I just know that it's stupid and it's not really happening and it's worthless. So I haven't really done enough research on it. That's just my initial thoughts. Oh, can I share the URL for the Bitcoin chart? Sure. I'll do it right here in the Hangouts. So here's one Bitcoin chart. Here's the other. Those are just my links. You can also get them from last video, right? Like I put them right in my description. I gotta start publishing more on TradingView, but there you go. No, I wouldn't consider. I wouldn't call Litecoin a buy, and I don't care about Ethereum. I have no idea what price it is. I'm so busy with Bitcoin and scaling. I don't really care about Ethereum. I think John McAfee's crazy. I would love to see him try to do that, what he said he's going to do. Can anything happen the 1st of August? Well, they're threatening to hard fork Bitcoin on the 1st of August to turn into Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so I wasn't hating on BIP91. This is an interesting question. So here's the question. Why were you celebrating BIP91 the other day and hating on it every other day, month, week? I was hating on SegWit 2x implementation, right? I never had a problem with BIP91. BIP91 was okay, but my problem was the SegWit 2x code that was going to implement BIP91 because I didn't trust the people programming SegWit 2x code. That was my criticism. It wasn't BIP91 itself. BIP91 was written by a core developer. Now, the integration of BIP91 wasn't written by a core developer. The integration of BIP91 was being written by Jeff Garzik, who is a failed core developer that pretty much couldn't hack it. And the more and more I ask around about his programming skills, the more and more people say that he's not a very good developer. And this is why I was hating on SegWit 2x, and I was hating on Barry Silbert for entrusting Bitcoin core development to incompetent developers. But no, BIP91, I never really had a problem with that piece of code itself. Do I recommend any books about learning TA? I honestly don't. So what you want to do is, there's an exam called CMT. It's called a Chartered Market Technician. This is like a CFA exam, Chartered Financial Analyst, for traders. Whole slew of books that you need to study before you take an exam on technical analysis. So if you Google the CMT exam, I'm sure the books that they recommend are probably the top books in the space. I honestly don't know if Ethereum is going down or going up. I just know that Ethereum is a useless piece of technology that is not going to last long term, which is why there is a crypto scam episode about Ethereum. Next. Any practical chance a hard fork happens in November? I don't think so. Can we quit worrying about hard forks yet? Not yet. Let's give it another month, and then we can talk about it. Again, plenty of time between now and November. I wouldn't worry about it yet. Question: if Bitcoin pops, how will that affect the rest of the crypto market? I think I think a lot of money will shift from altcoins into Bitcoin if Bitcoin pops from here. What are your thoughts on Lightning, on Bitcoin and LTC? Well, I'm very happy for Lightning. I can't wait for Lightning to get into the Bitcoin, to be a layer on top of Bitcoin code, and I'm looking forward to it very much. I'm looking forward to Lightning 1,000 times more than I'm looking forward to whatever Rootstock's doing. No offense, Diego. I'm a little the Rootstock technology and like drive chains, they make me nervous. Lightning does not make me nervous. So I can't wait to see Lightning to help Bitcoin scale and make it like nice, cheap transactions. Right, if you don't understand the 913.9, and that's okay, because like I said, these are very complicated topics, and this channel is for advanced traders. So if you need to learn more and you need to learn the details, and you are a higher net worth individual, and then you should be able to afford 0.1 Bitcoin per hour to learn the details of an advanced indicator. Like, to be honest with you guys, if you're not trading more than $25,000 or equivalent in a portfolio, this indicator is not for you. And if you are trading more than 25,000 and you want to learn a brand new tool that you can learn for free on the internet, I don't have to be the one teaching it to you, then spending 0.1 Bitcoin per hour to learn a brand new tool in your tool shed of trading may be a decent investment. But if you are new to trading, if you're only trading with a few $1,000s, I will feel uncomfortable taking 0.1 Bitcoin from you and educating you on this indicator. Okay, it's really for advanced traders. Trading desks use it, and I know that for a fact. All right, next question about the flag formation. But do you think that the news will drive more than the technical analysis seems that way? Well, okay, so here's the thing. They tend to happen together. I'm going to do a screen share again real quick. Okay, so here's the crazy part when it comes to technical analysis. I was calling for a buy at 950. I had absolutely no idea that the news was gonna be we got SegWit without and avoiding the August 1st hard fork. I had no idea, but this 9 told me to take profits from a short trade, and because I probably would have done it like midway through the candle, but when this candle was closing, I said that, well, this isn't a reversal candle, but it's at the bottom of my trend line. And I called for a 1950 buy in Bitcoin. It's on Twitter. It's in these videos. Just go back to the video on these days, around these days. And the next day, we had a reversal candle. This is a doji to me. This was a doji at double support. And on multiple shows, the World Crypto Network, Today in Bitcoin, on this show, on my Twitter, I said Bitcoin is a buy. And then the next day, amazing news broke about SegWit. And then 3 days later, SegWit got in the code. I had no idea this news was coming, but the technicals happened to align with the news. Now, whether that's luck or a self-fulfilling prophecy is kind of irrelevant, because if you traded the technicals, you were in line with the news. So what's going to cause the breakout? Will it be technicals or the news? Probably both. And they usually align at the same time. And then the technical people claim that they're amazing traders and they don't care about the news and they got it right based on technicals. And the people that watch the news and had insider information will claim that, well, your technicals are bullshit. It was all news driven. But it doesn't matter because both people made money. Okay, so what is going to drive this pattern? Is it technicals or is it the news? Probably both. If this pattern works out, both sides, fundamental traders and technical traders, can claim victory if they traded it right. And the entry for this would be right under 3,000. The moment we get close to 3,000, you can assume that it's going to break. There's no way it's going to come back to 3,000 and reverse again. The moment I see 1380, 1390, I'm calling for a $650 up move. All right, stopping screen share, back to questions. These questions last forever, guys. I am gonna have to stop this video in a few minutes. I'm at still 550 live viewers, but your questions just keep on coming. It's really amazing. Thank you for watching, guys. Having a big following here. Do we as Bitcoin holders already own BTU and BTC Cash? No, not yet. BTC Cash hasn't actually forked yet. So you don't own both of them. You only own, well, I don't even know what BTU is, right? So unless Bitcoin, it forks, right? So basically, you have to give your Bitcoin to ViaBTC and then trade on their exchange. And then they will split them for you if you trust them. I don't. So if Bitcoin hard forks and you control your own private keys, which means your coins are not on Coinbase, your coins are not on Coinbase, your coins are not on any exchanges. If you control your own private keys, yes, you have both coins. But don't expect much for the other coin. And I don't think it's going to last. Next question. How much FUD is still there? 20%, 50%? There's always FUD. People accuse me of FUD. There's always FUD. It's like the new favorite term in the world of Bitcoin is FUD. All right, next question. I don't know. I can't quantify FUD. Sorry, guys. I speculate on a lot of things, but I'm not going to quantify on the percentage of FUD. And for those that don't know what FUD is, it's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. All right, next question. What are those numbers on the candlesticks? Yeah, that's if you're new to this channel, please watch the last 2 months, 3 months when I started talking about this, or maybe a month. I think I started talking about it a month ago. And then read the comments to the videos. You'll be able to do your research, or you got to hit me up for my consulting at 0.1 Bitcoin per hour. Next. Again, I'm only looking for the word question, and I'm only looking for my name to highlight. If SegWit activates, would that make Litecoin useless? No, not yet. I mean, there's so much drama in Bitcoin. There'll be another attack on Bitcoin, and Litecoin will adopt the latest and greatest technology of Bitcoin first. I mean, whatever the recent events of Bitcoin will happen again. Like not the exact events, but in general. Where's my hat? Oh, I forgot to wear my hat. Forgot. I remember to put the shirt on, but I forgot my forgot the hat. This is what caused the SegWit, by the way, in the system. Huge credit to Samson Mao. Samson Mao started the movement. Luke Dash Jr. took it to the next level. Eric Lombroso. Shout out to all you guys. Mr. Hodl. A lot of other anonymous people. All right. No, Litecoin, I don't think Litecoin will be useless because Litecoin has proved itself to be an amazing Bitcoin testnet for the latest technology. So I think there'll be another time in the future where Litecoin needs to adopt the technology of the core developers, adopt it first, make sure everything goes smoothly. So there will be uses for Litecoin. But on a long-term level, I don't see Litecoin versus Bitcoin doing all that well on a long-term scale. What is the next major hurdle for Bitcoin in terms of community or miner-driven changes? Well, the next big hurdle is not to end up with a hard fork over the next, I would say, 6 to 9 months, right? So I would want to avoid a hard fork over the next 6 to 9 months, and then we'll see. Because I don't want bad actors to get their way, not even an inch. I'm not giving in. I'm not compromising with bad actors that just I feel are bad for Bitcoin. So the next big hurdle is to make sure there's the 2x part of SegWit 2x never makes it into the code. What can go wrong August 10th or 11th? Everything can go wrong. Can there be a major sell-off? Absolutely. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen, guys. I'm not a fortune teller. Next. As the bigger financial players invest in Bitcoin, is there more or less risk of market price manipulation? Probably less, because as more people enter, the price of Bitcoin goes up. And as the bigger the price of Bitcoin, the less the volatility. The volatility of Bitcoin was way higher in 2013 than it is now. When one Bitcoin is worth over $10,000, yeah, it may move $100 a day, but when you're buying, you're probably not going to buy that cup of coffee. But when you're dollar transaction, when a Bitcoin is worth $10,000 or $20,000 each, the fact that it changed in price by $100 that day is irrelevant to your $100 transaction, because that's like a movement of like 0.1%, right? It'll be irrelevant, or movement of 1%, I guess. $10,000 Bitcoin, that would be a 1% move. $100 in a day would be a 1% move. So maybe that's a little too much, but yeah, the more value on chain, the more Bitcoin grows, less volatile it should be. So that's a good thing. Oops, did I lose your questions? Oh, wow. Okay, let me back up here. I have no clue where I am, guys. I'm sorry. I usually highlight the questions to make it easier, but there's actually an infinite number of questions. I'm not going to get to them all. This is unfortunate. Oh, I'm at the top of the chat now. The chat, I might have skipped some questions, so I do apologize. Have you heard that the guys, Rothschilds are a boogeyman? The Rothschilds are completely irrelevant to the global financial system, and I'm not going to get into why. Please do research. Is it really possible to make money long-term day trading? I don't know what long-term day trading is. Those are two opposite words. Day trading is the opposite of long-term. So, can a day trader make more money than a holder? Yeah, if the day trader is good. Very few do, but if you're good, yeah. I mean, I've day traded for a while. I've done okay back in the day, but then I didn't like the lifestyle. Which exchange do you recommend? I don't. Do you recommend a trading bot? I don't, unless you wrote the bot. Is it safe to transfer Bitcoin until August 1st SegWit? Just make sure. I would wait for 6 confirmations. I would, if I'm using Bitcoin right now, I would wait for like 5 to 6 confirmations. I know I skipped a bunch of questions, guys, but if I start looking for the place where I stopped, it will be hard for me to find. Do you expect seasonal trading to affect Bitcoin price? Not really. Maybe a little seasonal trading. A lot of kids are on vacation during the summer. It's the same thing as like traditional trading. Like in August, things are usually slow and boring because a lot of traders are on vacation with their kids. So that's kind of seasonal. Selling in December, for tax purposes, maybe. It's hard to say yet. How come everyone was afraid of the user-activated soft fork, but not the user-activated hard fork? Because the user-activated soft fork was going to happen. The user-activated hard fork was, in my opinion, was a bluff. I know I have a lot of new followers here, thanks to Max Kaiser and thanks to Cliff High. But you guys stick around, and you'll kind of get the hang of my indicators and things like that. So what's going to happen to ERC20 coins if Ether goes to the trash? That's a good question, which you should ask the people building on top of ERC20 and see if they have a backup plan. If they don't, then those people are totally incompetent. All right. Will Bitcoin go up tomorrow? I have no idea, guys. Again, I don't like mentioning ICOs on this channel. Can I do a video with Max Kaiser? Well, that's not up to me. That's up to Max Kaiser. Can I do a video with Cliff High? I probably could do a video with Cliff High. After I'm done with my travels, I'll reach out, and if he's free, maybe we'll put something together. And I would love to ask him some the tone vase on the record tough questions about his work. I want him to answer my challenging questions. I am more relaxed because I'm happy that SegWit got in. SegWit to access clown code. Yes, I think I coined that term. Oh man, the chat just see, you guys don't like only see my frustration with all these questions. All right, the questions. Like 5 more. There's still time to go to the beach. Maybe. Stop signaling at the last minute. They can, but I don't think they will. They have to all coordinate, and I don't think they're that good at coordination. They're good, but they're not that good. It's weird now. All right. Would you move to California from New York? I of living in a different tax purpose. So the only states besides New York I would consider living purposes. So we're talking Nevada, Texas, Florida. There is no taxes except federal. Puerto Rico is probably the best option. But I wouldn't move to California because if I'm going to move anywhere, it'll be a foreign country. I can't wait to check out Colombia in October. I love Asia. I love Thailand. I love Vietnam. So if I move anywhere, it would be to like a nice warm country in either Southeast Asia or Latin America if I ever find the time to learn Spanish. So moving to California is not really an option because that if I change residency in the US for tax purposes, and California is even worse than New York. Actually, I haven't, and I've been in California. Another completed job, and that arrived just as I was leaving. So the moment back Friday, going straight to my cabin, and one liner, I might make a nice celebration video. I'm gonna end up July 31st. I'll still be mining. I might shout out to Slush. All right, guys, on this night. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you again for your donations. Thank you again to the private clients. And hey, thanks to those that supported the user-activated soft fork. You helped get everything done. And I am going to call it a night. We are going to try and still make it to the beach. You want to say goodbye, Sarah? Or sleep?
No, I was meditating.
Oh, okay. So
goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Next one will come out this Tuesday. I'll be heading up that way. So I'll San Francisco on Tuesday, Santa Barbara, California.